Hey guys, this is Rick coming at you with Weed to No Basis, the podcast for all things cannabis business related. Are you an entrepreneur? Have something you wanted to create, something you wanted to bring to life in the cannabis industry? Maybe you've always wanted to partake in one of the biggest industries in modern day history. This is the podcast to listen to. Hey guys, it's Rick, and we're back here in Hemp Quarters, Hemp HQ, and in my living room. So Hemp HQ, Hemp Quarters, AKA the crib. And you're listening to an episode of Weed to No Basis. And today I want to pose a question. And this is kind of a futuristic, maybe crystal ballish, peeking into the future. And sometimes those are the coolest questions because it might lend us to believe that we can create and or predict our future as a cannabis entrepreneur. The question is this. It's not really a question, guys. Well, it is a question. It's kind of this morph of a question and a thought, and it's provocative and evocative, all those things, and it's this. You ready? I'm looking at my notes. Everything's legal. Now what? Now, if you live in Nevada, this is a reality for you. If you live in Illinois, this is now a reality for you. If you live in California or Washington, this is a reality for you. But if you're in Texas, if you're in Utah, if you're in a state where there's no medical marijuana or no rec legal marijuana, this is a crystal ball moment for you because what you have the opportunity to do with that question is to peer ahead. You see, the thing is, guys, is it's marijuana, cannabis, call it what you will, it's going to be rec legal or legal in all 50 states sooner than you can imagine. You know how we always say how time flies, I can't believe I'm 40, or you're already 32 years old, where did the time go? Guys, now add one more to the mix, cannabis. You see, you don't want to wake up one day and realize that, holy heck, marijuana is legal. My cousin just walked down the street and walked into a dispensary and he bought me a joint. And I live in Georgia. See, the day's going to come where a lot of you, because you didn't listen to Weed to No Basis, is you're going to wake up and say, where did the time go? So today's episode is about peering into the crystal ball and envisioning, ideating, creating. Maybe it's just simply being prepared because you don't want to get left out. The same way people say, I just turned 40, where did the time go? You're going to say, everything's now legal. What the hell just happened? Everything's legal, now what? There's some beauty in that statement. The beauty is this, is that especially as an entrepreneur, guys, or if you guys are a creator or you're somebody who's in the weeds, you know, you're a doer, you're an integrator or you're a thinker, whatever that is, guys, this question has so much power because especially, now we're talking about entrepreneurship, especially as an entrepreneur, because if you're in a place where it's not yet legal, you have the opportunity to be prepared. You can become a cannabis prepper, if you will. You can be ready for the day it becomes legal. Whatever your idea is, maybe you have an idea for a brand new infused cell phone cover, or you want to launch a media company and get folks like me mic'd up so they can record cool episodes like Weed to No Basis. Whatever that is, guys, whatever the idea is, now is the time to prepare. Today. Now is the time to prepare, not when it becomes legal, because you will be behind the green curve. You will, mark my words. The same way turning 21 just suddenly was there, the same way you look down at your little girl and she's now 18, the same way that you just woke up and said, holy shit, today's my 40th birthday, that's the same way you're going to wake up and say, marijuana is now legal in my neck of the woods. So I want you to start to think about, because you're listening to this show for a reason. I want you to start thinking about, what do I need to be doing today to be prepared when everything's legal? Do not be the one who asks yourself, what the hell just happened? Because then that means I didn't do my job. So what are some things you can do? It's one thing for me to come on here and wax poetic about, oh yeah, look in your crystal ball and you turned 40 and you woke up, and I get that. That's very fluid. There's almost a kind of woo-woo-ish about it. So Rick, tell me or help me, what can I be doing today to prepare myself for my cannabis empire tomorrow? First thing is, guys, is come up with an idea. I'm being serious, like totally serious. Not 15 of them, not 20 of them, not something that you have to go to Mars to get some plutonic ingredient, a real idea. Now, if your next question is, Rick, how do I come up with an idea? Here's what I want you to do. I'm being serious, guys. Chris is behind there. He's giggling. But no, I'm serious, guys, because as I ask myself the questions, I realize there's a question before the question. You see, there's a question before the question. So the question might be is, I understand come up with an idea, but how do I come up with an idea? If you have a clean slate, no preconceived notion, here's what I want you to do, R&D. Not research and development. So here's what we call it in the entrepreneurial world, rip off and duplicate. Here's what I mean by that. There's a famous phrase by Picasso and it says, great artists, let me see what it is. Great artists paint, or good artists paint, great artists steal. I think it was Picasso who said that. But here's what I mean by that specifically is, you see, if you're in Texas or Mississippi or a state where it's wide open, where this is more relevant, what I want you to do is take a peek at California. Take a peek at Washington. Take a peek at Nevada. And look at all the businesses that didn't used to be there that are now there. Maybe it's insurance. Maybe it's some sort of new cultivation fertilizer. Maybe it's a new gadget that if you scan a plant, it can detect the amount of THC in it. My point is that if you're still kind of stuck, I have so many ideas, I don't know what to focus in on, or I don't even know how to come up with an idea, I'm asking you to R&D it, rip off and duplicate. Look at the states where this is already a full-blown business, a commodity, it is now thriving. Colorado, Washington, Nevada, California, those are likely the ones that come to mind first. Read a little bit. Look and see what it was like prior to making this legal, prior to it going rec legal. Talk to people. Honestly, guys, I'm not trying to get you off of our show, but maybe find a podcast that talks about, like Ganjapreneur, for instance. Ganjapreneur guys, they have some fantastic episodes and they interview CEOs and entrepreneurs from states where it's been around for a while. Listen to what they say. Guys, of course, I want you to be fans of us and to follow and subscribe us, but what I really want, what our real job is here is to empower you with that knowledge, to prepare you to be the successful, superior cannabis entrepreneur. And if it means I have to tell you to go somewhere else, then I'm going to tell you to go somewhere else, guys. But always come home. Our home here. But seriously, guys, the first thing I would say to do, because ideas are a dime a dozen, it's execution that's the second biggest part. And that leads us into the second biggest part is, Rick, I have an idea now. I had an idea. I know there's some validity to it, and I know that's what I want to be doing as I'm peering ahead into my green crystal ball. Everything's legal, now what? And the reason why I know is because I took my idea and I actually saw that there's a company in Nevada who did that same thing and didn't exist before. See what I'm saying? Keep it super simple. So if you're asking, now what? What do I do now? Honestly, truth, you need to go to greenseedcannabisco.com. Guys, I don't usually drop nuggets about where to go, but the fact is our company is one of the very first business accelerator programs for cannabis startup entrepreneurs in the country, in the entire US, not just San Antonio or Texas. We're actually the first one in Texas. We were the 9th one in the entire country to launch. Second step is, I would say, go to our website, greenseedcannabisco.com. In all seriousness, guys, I'm not about selling stuff. That's not what we're about. And on our page, guys, you'll find a link to our private free group. You can join. So the second thing is, surround yourself with like-minded folks in the same mission as you, who are creators in the cannabis industry, entrepreneurs who want to achieve success. That would be immerse yourself in the group. And if it's not our group, guys, find a group. Find a normal group, NORML. Find a meetup group. Find yourself a group of people and surround yourself with those folks. You see, because what got you here won't get you there. And now that you have this, maybe it's a crazy cannabis idea, I'm going to share this with you. A lot of your friends are going to think it's a crazy, dumb cannabis idea. Find a group of like-minded folks who are on the same mission as you. You can go to greenseedcannabisco.com. And you'll see that there's a link there to join our free Facebook group. It's Green Seed Nation. Or find yourself a meetup group, or create one. Honestly, maybe your idea is to create one. And then learn. Guys, and learn at hyperspeed. Now, you may have an 8 to 5, you may have kids, you may have all the things that a lot of us have, mortgages, responsibilities, things like that, soccer games, whatever that is. Make the time. Make the time, and here's why. Because of the question, everything's legal, now what? You don't want to wake up one day and say, damn, I should have made the time. Guys, I'm serious. Third step. And this is where we're going to end today, guys. This is going to be a really short one because this is where you need to take this to the next level. This is not a step-by-step do what Rick said. This is a step-by-step, this is where it ends. Now you take this. Third step. Third thing to do, guys. Serious. Absolutely. Write it down. Write it down. Make it real. Give it substance. Write it down. So we're here live and you can't see below here, guys, but I have my notes. What I ask you to do, I freaking do myself. I'm gonna forget that. What I ask you to do, I fucking do myself. I do the things that I ask you to do, guys. And that is, in my opinion, one of the tenets of leadership is followership. Is whatever I ask you to do, guys, it's because I've done it myself. You can't see it, but my computer's here. My computer is littered with notes. I have a handwriting app and it actually transforms in my computer. So I physically write it down and I can see my notes on my computer. Then I have pen and paper. Write it down. I'm being totally serious, guys. Write it down because then it comes visceral. When you make that mind-hand written connection, something about it just feels differently. It's almost like you can't let it go. Step 4 is in your hands. Step 4 is now in your hands because now there's probably 1,000 things you can do. Now that you've honed in on your idea and you've kind of figured it out, maybe you've R&D'd it, you've looked into places where this has already been done and you've modeled yourself after them and you've done the things and you've written it down. Now it's time to just sit and think for a minute and think about the resources you're going to need next. Guys, and there's so many different answers here that this is where I'm going to stop today with just these 3 things. The question today was this. I'm looking at my notes. Everything's legal. Now what? The message was you don't want to be the one who wakes up one day and says, holy geez, marijuana is legal here. You don't. The opportunity is, you know it's coming. Seize it today. I gave you 3 things, 3 actionable tips to use, guys. Do them. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to know what to do next, leave a comment here. Reach out to us. Hit us up on Instagram at PlanetBoy. That's my personal, or at Weed to No Basis, guys, and ask away. We're here for you. The nascent, the early stage, the startup, hustling cannabis entrepreneur, Weed to No Basis. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And remember, if you're here, if you're listening, if you're watching, it's because you too are on a Weed to No Basis. Have an awesome rest of your day and week. Peace.